And yes. It's your favorite host for the new year, B Brown, the revolutionary.
And Sunshine La Reina. Today is Monday. It's January the 9th, 2023. Happy New Year, people.
Say what? Did you say it's 2023?
The 2-0, the 2-3.
Wow. Well, you know how it is. You know how it is. We coming through. We coming through real quick, like, because we haven't been live yet for the new year.
Life be hectic. New year, new you. I mean that stuff? Yeah, it be busy.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're not going to talk about it Tuesday today. No,
Mm-mm.
that's not what
No.
we're gonna.
What we got today?
We got some other stuff we're gonna talk about. We definitely going into the raw emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm, we
We
like it when
definitely doing that.
yeah, most deaf, most deaf.
So we definitely got to talk about some things that's going on in the world. Boom, there we go,
Yes. Isn't that so pretty?
y'all. If y'all ain't heard, it's a 6-year old honey that done took a gun to school and done shot her teacher in Virginia. Yeah, we got to talk about this. What in the HE double hockey sticks is going on in this world?
All right, so when I heard about it, right, I was like, okay, I wanted, I needed. That's how I felt. I was like, well,
Everybody confused. Everybody trying to figure it out.
how did
I,
that boy get that gun? Why did he bring it to school? What is really going on? Like, what's happening? For what?
I read a few articles where people was like, how was he so sophisticated to conceal the weapon, take it
Exactly.
to, know to
Exactly.
aim it at the teacher and pop the teacher? Baby, y'all
Exactly.
underestimate these children. That's what y'all doing. Because I feel like this, you don't know what he's seen in his home.
Exactly.
You can teach a child at, let's just say, 8, 9 months, they ABCs and stuff. They definitely can learn how to conceal a weapon, take it to school, and pop the teacher.
But what would be the thought process in it? Like, why did he feel this way about this woman that made him want to shoot her? Nobody's
Maybe
ever said that.
it's
Nobody.
it's a lot to unpack in this situation. Who knows? Maybe the teacher didn't do nothing to him, even though I read that they definitely had a disagreement.
Exactly.
Maybe they had more than one disagreement, and he had enough.
Well, if they had a disagreement, don't you think his parents would know about it? The administrator would know about it? Like the school in general would know about something going on between a 6-year-old child and a 25-year-old teacher?
Would they?
I'm just
Would
saying, I know my kids, I have small children. My youngest are 10 and 11. And I know that if anything happens to them in school, they're coming to tell me, their mom, so that I can handle it.
well,
So what was
that's
really going on?
something that should be looked at, but let's just be real. A lot of stuff be going on in school and the parents don't know nothing about it. A lot of times these newer teachers, I'm not saying it's all of them, a lot of them, they're stressed out. And I'm gonna take it both ways because it's a two-way street at this point.
Exactly, it is. That's true.
A lot of people send their children to school and they have behavioral problems. I feel sorry for the teacher. They don't make enough money to have to put up with a child that has authority at home. Then when they get to school, they feel like they also got authority at school. You don't have authority over all adults. You might got authority over your mom and your daddy, but when you get to my classroom, you have no authority and they can't handle that. Thus, we see the meltdown.
True.
But I really, really feel like this was planned.
Exactly. Like
He thought it out.
that that's the whole thing that bothers me a little bit. Like
That's what bothers me a lot of it.
why would that be your thought process? Why would it be? Why would you think to where did you get this gun from in the first place? It's his mom's gun. Where was the gun? Where was the location of the gun that this boy had access to? Just picking it up, putting it in his book bag, taking it to school, and shooting this lady.
Well, all in the same token, let's be real, a lot of adults are careless with things like that.
Very much so.
When you get so comfortable that you don't think your child will do something like that. And
Mhm.
also, I feel like a lot of times in the households that these children take on adult manners. They do things at home that adults only supposed to do. Or not only that, they have to use adult mannerisms, so to speak. Because when I was in school, all the way up to I can remember, maybe by the time I got to the 10th or 11th grade, but like my mom made sure we had food. I didn't
Mm,
have to go scavenging for food. Some children have to go looking for food when they
yeah.
get home from school. They don't have food already prepared, but that's not a problem I had to deal with. So you already taking on an adult role. Now you feel like, okay, I have to see about myself. So you're starting to get a little grown.
Mhm.
You fitting the bill of taking care of yourself. So now you're feeling a little grown. So, but let's break it back down. Let's go down. Let's go down. 6 years old.
Well, you gotta
This
some.
got to be kindergarten. It was a kindergarten or first grade.
Well, I know some kids. I mean, depending upon their age,
Yeah, it's
some
typical
kids.
kindergarten or first grade.
I know all my kids were 5 when they were in kindergarten, going on 6 to go to the seventh, first grade. So it could be like first grade, maybe like kindergarten. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely first grade or kindergarten.
Definitely first grade or kindergarten. Definitely.
So when I was in first grade and kindergarten, I never once in my mind thought that I was going to take a weapon to school and harm anybody, let
But
alone the teacher.
what could that teacher have done though? I mean, not for nothing. The way
Maybe
these
she disciplined him and he's never
that's
been
what I'm
disciplined
saying.
before.
The way these kids think nowadays, she could have made hurt his feelings, and that's what happened. So you never know
Exactly.
what's going on. She could have quote unquote embarrassed him. So nonetheless, you got to think about this. This child is 6 years old. They're 6 years old. What is going through a 6-year-old child's mind? How does that what was that thought process? Why was that the thought process?
Okay, so in my mind, at home, he's seen some things. At 6 years old, he's seen some things, and maybe he's heard a lot of disputes. Maybe he's even seen some domestic violence. Who knows?
Hmm.
Maybe this child has been coddled to the point where he feels like everything should go his way. Like this can go so many ways.
It's like that 10-year-old boy that shot his mom because she wouldn't buy him the headphones or the
Yeah,
glasses or whatever.
the headset.
Yeah, you never know what could happen. But I remember when I was 6 years old. I mean, I ain't that old. I can remember. And it was never a thought in my mind to want to harm someone in that way at 6 years old.
Well, let me ask you this. Isn't 10 years old considered a minor as well?
Yes.
So
Anything
they,
under 18 is a minor.
they didn't conceal his identity, but they're concealing this child's identity.
Well, he's even too young to go to juvie. Like he can't even go to juvenile court. Like there will be like even right now they don't know where they have this boy placed because he did what he did. Like no one knows where he is.
They
No
can
one knows
bring
who he is, what
they
he is, what ethnicity he is. We don't know nothing. They know who his parents are. No one else knows who his parents are.
them people at that school who children go to that school, they know who did it.
Exactly. But however, we are getting no kind of information on who that child is. They're keeping that on lock and key. Now, if they charge the parents like they could, like if the parents had negligently left that gun around, they can be charged for her assault. However, if they had locked the gun up and he somehow got a hold of it, then I guess they could be charged maybe like civilly, but they can't be charged criminally because it wasn't like a negligent thing. You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, but I've said it over and over again, and I'm gonna stick to exactly what I'm saying again. Quit letting your child play Grand Theft Auto. Baby, listen, Grand Theft Auto is an adult game. They have prostitutes on there. It's a lot of cursing on there. Honey, they got any type of firearm you want on there. They got clubs. They got drugs. It's everything. I got the game right now. I can pull it up and show it to you.
I
Yeah.
don't, I don't play Grand Theft Auto. There's no GTA in my house like at all, because I just don't think that it's anything productive to do. Like it's just like okay, no. So I don't know what that's about. I didn't know they had prostitutions
Yeah.
in narcotics. I didn't know that. I know you
Honey,
can put females on the streets and run them over and stuff, and like
that's
steal
too
people's
much.
money and like all kinds of that other stuff. However, I ain't know about that. I ain't know about
It's a lot of stuff on Grand Theft Auto that you can do. I mean, you can steal. You can definitely go against the police. You can steal the police car. I mean, you can do whatever type of criminal activity you want to do on Grand Theft Auto. Now, we know that this is a simulation game and it's not real. We know that in the real world, it's not going to happen the way it happens on the game, even though they will take you down through there and make sure
that.
you're unalived on the game. But
Yeah,
still, for
we
a young
can't, we
child,
can't let that we can't let that be the narrative though. Like no, but we are of a certain age. We
yeah.
saw particular things on TV. We understood that that was not real life, even at that age.
But we were also raised different. Our
That
parents made sure
exactly,
that we
exactly,
knew, don't touch that. Baby, we couldn't even go in the refrigerator unauthorized. Play with it.
exactly. I know that's how I raise my kids. My kids think they know that ain't what I. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. Like I've raised my children. I've worked around my children. My children have never been in daycare. None of that. Like I've worked around my children. When my kids come home, like my young ones, they don't go to school too far from me. We meet up at school, come home, homework, dinner, all that every day. I work around my kids. So it's all about a thought process. It's about
Everybody
teaching
do
your
that.
kids, raising your kids.
They're
And I
not
know
raising
not
their children.
everybody is blessed to be able to do that. However, I make a lot of sacrifices. That's what you have to do so that you can raise proper kids. You have to make sacrifices as a parent. You really, really do.
Maybe these parents ain't studying no sacrifice. They still trying to drop it low at the club.
Oh, that ain't
Baby,
my
they
line.
don't even want to be called grandma no more. Nana. I'm Nana. Baby,
Mm-mm. I'm my mom. How you doing? I'm my mom. I have grandbabies.
I'm a Nana.
Mm-mm. I got grandbabies. I'm my mom. Yeah.
So you need to act accordingly. I'm not saying that you got to be the old narrative of a grandmother, but you still is a grandmother. You need to fit the bill of a grandmother and you need to fit the bill of a mama. When you decide that you're going to have children, it's a new lifestyle for you to live, baby. You cannot continue on that same life and that same path that you was on when you didn't have any children because you are not responsible for anybody and you are now responsible for a whole human and you are
Mm-hmm.
responsible to make sure that they understand the do's and don'ts of the world so they can be a productive citizen. Because I'm sick and tired of the poor teachers going to school. No wonder the teachers only go to school for a check now, because they don't get paid enough. Baby, every
Exactly.
teacher should be making at least $75,000, period. I don't care
Pretty
what you say. And then if you feel like that's too much, let's just say 60 then. But nothing less
much.
than 60, honey.
Not much.
$60,000, because they have to deal with these children. They got to teach these children how to act. They got 90 children they got to deal with. Some of them don't want to listen. Some of them hard-headed. Oh, my baby got ADHD. Oh, my baby this. Oh, your baby bad as hell. That's
But
what's
then not to mention, most of these, like my sister's is now a principal. She was a teacher for years in school. One of her best friends, she's my kid's aunt, another teacher in the school system. They buy supplies. They buy these kids coats and shoes and clothes
they
and
should have to do that. They have to come
all
out of the
kinds of
pipe.
things for these kids. They come out of pocket for these kids. They're not appreciated. That's why I promise you, my children have never. They grew up. They respect their teachers. The second they are disrespectful, the teachers can call me at my job. I will leave my job, go to my kid's school, correct my kid, and go back to work.
Yes.
That's not what we're not going to do. My
Yes.
kid cut up in school one day. The teacher called me and said, it's happened before. I said, well, see, what you should have done was call me the first time it happened, because there would not be this time. There would have
Blue.
been no next time if it happened, if you would have called me initially. I didn't know that. Well, now you know. I'm not that kind of parent. If my child is doing something that's wrong, they're going to be corrected. They're going to apologize for their behavior, and they are going to correct said behavior. Period. I'm not raising them kind of kids.
Yeah.
I'm raising
Well,
people that will go somewhere in their life, that are going to do something with themselves. My 16-year-old has dreams of construction, and she's doing that so right now. She's rebuilding like an entire basement right now at 16.
well, that's good. But let's talk about these children that ain't doing what they supposed to do in school, because that's where the problem lie. The
Exactly.
problem lie in this poor 6-year-old. He or she, I'm assuming it's a he.
Kid, they don't say that either.
They don't. That's why I said I'm assuming. But at the end of the day, I want to look into that household.
Most
And
definitely.
we can't always blame it on the parents, but a lot of the times we can look right into the parents.
I mean, the child's 6.
Hmm.
He's 6, or she is 6. Where else can you look? For real, for real.
Unless they are being babysat by a family member, maybe, or maybe a older cousin lives there with them. I mean, let's check out this what the police said about this situation, honey. 'Cause, baby,
I don't know. I don't know what would make a 6-year-old child think that that was okay.
right.
Like, what did he think was going to happen? Did he think that he was going to shoot her? And I mean, well, thank whatever God they pray to that she remained alive. However, what would have happened if he would have fatally wounded her? What did he think was going to happen? He was going to get up and be like there the next day? Like, what was his thought process?
Well, at that age, you don't really have much of a thought process for real. I mean, they don't really teach critical thinking. Let's be real.
Anymore. At all. At
Critical
all.
thinking is, and it did what makes it so bad they don't teach it, but it be on the test.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very true.
So, I'm encouraging the parents to be a little bit more thorough in their teachings from home. Don't
Yeah.
let your job get you so caught up where you can't teach your child right from wrong.
Or even just the power of discernment. Like my kids come and ask me for help with their homework projects or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, let's read this together. So what are they asking? What information do you need to know? Like I teach my kids to develop a thought process. Then I'm like, so why did you need my help? Because you already knew the answer.
Right.
Teach them to rely on their own thought processes and what they know and have to see. Like teach them. Don't teach them how to think, not what to think.
Right. Let's check this out, see what they
When
say.
the boy pulled out a gun and pointed it at the.
Tonight, we're learning new details in that shooting of an elementary school teacher inside a classroom in Newport News, Virginia. The alleged gunman is a 6-year-old boy. Well, the teacher today is in stable condition, and CBS's Chris Van Cleve has new reporting and information on where the young boy got the handgun.
Tonight, police say the 6-year-old put his mother's 9mm handgun in his backpack before leaving for school.
They shot the teacher. I know where that student is. Grade student.
Police say first-grade teacher Abigail Zwarner was giving a lesson on Friday afternoon when the boy pulled out a gun and pointed it at the 25-year-old. Investigators say she threw up her hand to protect herself, but the bullet went through it and into her chest.
She suffered a gunshot wound, but she was still able to get all of her students out of that classroom.
Newport News Police Chief Steve Drew.
Do you have reason to believe that this 6-year-old was targeting multiple people in that classroom?
I believe that the actions were at or towards the teacher, but you never know how someone's going to react with a firearm.
LaWanda Sample Rusk was in the school office waiting to pick up her grandkids when Zwarner came in for help.
She fainted on the floor, and then it scared me, and I just thought, I knew I screamed.
This is the 4th shooting involving a 6-year-old since 2000. Last year, there were more than 300 school shootings. In the majority of those incidents, a student or staff member was shot.
What would you expect to happen as far as what this child may face?
Nobody under 11 can be locked up in state custody.
The police chief says that 6-year-old boy is at a medical facility for evaluation and that ultimately what happens next to him will be up to a judge. We learned during the briefing the boy's mother legally purchased that handgun. The chief says their investigation is ongoing and did not rule out the possibility she could face charges. Nora?
Chris Van.
Well, we found out that it was first grade.
So they said this is how many shootings of a 6-year-old and since 2000?
If I'm not mistaken, they said 4.
So
No, 6.
So 6-year-olds have shot. What? This is what I'm saying. These are small people. Like, these are small people. These are little people.
Underestimated, may I add.
Very, very much so. Nonetheless, why is that you little babies should still be babies. You should be playing with trucks and dolls and that kind of stuff.
World we live in anymore, Sunshine. It's some kids that are still kids. Let me just say this. A 16-year-old had a photo shoot, and I really appreciated the fact that she looked 16.
Yes.
Because I have done other shoots, and they look older than 16. But at the end of the day, I truly appreciated that the young lady looked 16. Actually, she looked more like 14, 15.
She did. She was so pretty. She really did. She was so cute. Yes,
Precious.
like I like when kids are their age. I like when children are allowed to be children and allowed to actually live their life and not live the life that's been bestowed upon them, if that makes sense.
Exactly. It's
Like,
sad. You know, the children just aren't children anymore. Like, to be honest, you can't even hardly say anything to these children because the parents won't allow it. Like, the village is dead. There's not a village anymore. You probably gonna have to fight Bonquisha if you say something to little Tata, because she want to act like he just don't be doing nothing when you know good and well little Tata bad as hell.
You know what? See, we're not gonna do that.
I'm just
But
being
I mean,
real.
it's a thing.
Act like Mikey is not showing serial killer vibes. When in reality, he
Yeah.
won't come out his room. You don't care if he don't never come out his room. You don't know what's going on in his room. You're not
Killing,
regulating what's going on. He in there building a bomb.
killing animals, killing squirrels and cats and whatnot. Like, you don't know what's going on now. Pay attention. Pay attention to y'all's kids.
Pay attention to your children. They get to the point they be so disconnected from their children, they don't know what their children got going on.
Listen, I make a point to check. I tell my kids every day, have a good day at school, what bus routes to get doing, what happens on the bus, all of that stuff. You have to be connected with your kids. You really
And
have to.
another thing, these parents ain't putting no God into their children. I'm not saying you got to throw no religion on them, but put some God in them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yes, yes,
teach
yes,
them about God and having morals and values,
yes.
and present the Bible to them. Pray with them. Put some holy oil on them. Pray on them. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you make them understand that it's your duty to be kind, to be a good person, to be no. They listening to all this thug music. They want to be thugged out. They want to be punk rocked out. And they want to do everything that they hear this music say.
All I'm saying is grown folks think not having morals and values is not the thing either. And I'm just not with it. Like, I was raised different. I raise my children different. I don't want to be a part of that kind of culture where it's okay to do the most scandalous, outrageous type boosty caca bull stuff. Like, no, we don't want to be a part of that generation. That's that's why all these things are happening to these people. These people are getting killed. All of this stuff. People have no morals, they have no values, they have no structure, they have no connectivity, they have no nothing. Nothing.
It's nobody's responsibility to raise your children. If you can't raise your children, maybe should consider giving them to an adoption agency, or maybe seeing if a family member can take your child. But before we even go there, if you're unstable, how about you hold off on having children? And this go for the men and the women, not just the women, because men participating in this as well. And also, how about this? It don't matter if you're not with the mother of your child. Go and be a father. Quit running off like a dang on rat when the lights get cut off. If you done made a child, be man enough to raise this child and protect this child and teach them their morals and values. Because all I keep hearing them say is the mother, the mother, the mother. Where's the father?
Mm-hmm.
Daddy.
I mean, there's no true accountability. It's all one sided. So the mom always bears the brunt because the moms are the one that they have the kids. So it's just like it is what it is. That's what they're going to say because that's the only parent that they have, and that is true. If they don't have their father, don't get it twisted that there are a lot of men that are within the household. However, the majority of these kids of a particular hue that are doing these things do not have fathers in the household.
And that's sad because I just can't see myself bringing a whole human in this world and I'm not guiding them.
I
Baby, a
mean,
child don't want your money. A child wants your attention. And if you had enough attention to go and hit it and stick it, you need to have enough attention to go and make sure that child understand what life is, being that you done lived it. Of what you laughing at, Sunshine, it's the truth.
it's it's your word choice. I was just like, you be saying, I'll be like, word choice. Like, why you guys saying it like that? That's it. That's all.
I got to break it down in the way that it come to me and make sure these people understand what I'm talking
I
about.
understand, but it'd be like, ugh, in my brain. You know what I'm saying?
You got time to hold these four hands because I don't believe in coddling the children. I don't believe in that. I believe in rewarding your children for when they do good and when they have good behavior. But what we not gonna do is baby them.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Baby them up until they what, about 2, 3. Baby, it's time to get them off of the breast, okay?
Maybe a whole hand, then you're big.
Huh?
A whole hand and then you're big. Not if you're not a whole
I'm just saying.
like he's a whole hand and one. So he a big boy. He know what's going on. Like if you like under like a hand, like you still a baby in my brain, like you a baby. Like you don't know no better, like you just like a whole big hand.
That's not true. I beg to differ.
I'm,
These children know a lot. They know a lot.
they do. They really, really do. They know a lot. I mean,
They're
this is
very impressionable, and it is up to the adults to make sure we put good things into their mind. When you
exactly.
put that foolishness and freakery in their mind, that's what they're gonna go for. They're gonna go for all of that.
All the time. The nigga's cute.
You listen. It's your responsibility to protect your child, teach your child the right way. But all of that, come on, oh my baby, don't do no wrong.
I don't like that.
Dulu, sit down, Dulu, because you're very delusional. Dulu,
You do though.
honey,
New word of 2023. You do though.
Dulu, baby. Stop
No,
it.
like
Not doing Dulu at 23.
you gotta keep it. You have to teach them. When you teach your children accountability when they're young, they carry that into later on in life. Like they know, like this is where I messed up. This is my issue. This time we're going to correct this issue, and this is how we're going to carry on.
Okay, for instance, when a child makes a mistake, I feel like it's the parents' responsibility, both of them, not just one of them, to pull that child to the side, figure out what made them make that mistake, why they felt like it was okay to do what they did, and explain to them why it was wrong. And also, you got to take action towards that child.
Exactly.
I ain't saying you gotta whoop the child or none of that, but that time I stuff, I ain't studying that. Baby, take some away from them that they like.
Tell you something. You know what timeout does? Timeout don't do nothing but give little Tyreek time to terrorize you some more. That's all it do. It gives them more time to think about ways to terrorize you even in your sleep. Don't do that timeout stuff. No. No.
I got a time out for you. I'm gonna time you out. If you keep playing with me, and then when you wake up, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. I wasn't supposed to do that with it. That's gonna be your time out. Because baby, we not doing that no more. These children has got too much authority, and I'm blaming it on the parents. Honey,
No.
I done been around teens, baby, they was letting the cuss words fly, baby.
Yes.
I'm talking, they were flying like birds.
Yes.
Just look.
I can't stand that. Because I know.
Just terror in y'all household, baby.
Because I know back in our time, like we did cut up. However, we weren't disrespectful. There's a difference. Because I know my mama's girlfriend could check me in a heartbeat. And then when I got home, I'm getting checked again.
Baby, we got pinch. We got our hair pulled. Baby, wasn't no time out, baby.
We got
Wasn't none of that. Here it was a strap and a belt.
I used to get like my knuckles wrapped with a ruler because my daddy went to Catholic school and I was bad.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not saying beat your children down to a pulp, baby. That's not what I'm saying, but instill some fear, so they'll think about some things. And then if that ain't the route you want to go, how about you make sure they are intelligent enough to have a thought process and think about things before they do them. Like there is such thing as critical thinking, honey.
But see, that has to be taught. See, that's how you have to teach your children. When your children make a mistake, more often than not, when people make mistakes, it is made out to be the most detrimental thing. People are not allowed to make mistakes. Mistakes are what make you. Mistakes are what make you who you are as a person. People don't take the mistakes that they make and learn the lesson from them. They take the failure from it, not the lesson of it. And when you take the lesson of your mistake, you grow from that. So when you teach, you sit and like your kid did something wrong. This is what you did wrong. This is why. And if they don't understand, speak to your children in a language that they understand. It ain't about you and what you have to say. It's all about how your child receives the information. If they can't receive the information from even a place of love and like truth and honesty, they're not going to reflect upon it and change their ways. You have to speak to your children in their language so they understand what you are saying. And when you talk to your children from a place of love and not anger, frustration, embarrassment, when you come to your children from a place of love, they receive that and they change their behavior because they actually reflect upon what you were saying. My
Yes.
children make mistakes every day, all day, and we will sit and we'll talk about it until they understand. That way they can reflect and be like, so the next time something like that happens, they can reflect upon our conversation and understand how they have to move forward from that situation.
I agree. Now, let's also talk about this situation because, see, once again, the children are terrorizing the adults. A 19-year-old gunned down his father, then tried to turn the gun on himself. Baby, an eyewitness said he ran him down and bucked him down with 5 bucks. Baby,
In front of the police.
your daddy, bro. Your daddy.
In front of police.
And mind you, he is a junior. Like, what?
What could that man have done? What did he do that wanted to make that his son wanted to shoot him? What did he do?
Look at
He said,
this.
"Mama,
Let's check this out. This is a quick little video about the situation.
This morning, a man is arrested for shooting and killing his own father. Memphis police called to a home on Richmond Avenue Saturday night. Police say that Romarin Baker was fighting with his father when the younger man shot his father. Baker's now charged with second-degree murder.
Developing.
And that's it. They have nothing more for him on that. And if you notice, she didn't call him a young man. She called him an adult, honey. A man shot his father. Now, let's also go into this where the eyewitness was recording when the police came and got him.
yes, they one side
just say
one place says he's 19, so which is which? Because there's a difference in, it could be a difference in charges from 16 to 19 as well. 19 is actually an assault.
Yeah.
And y'all need to kill these motherfucking daddy, boy. Ooh. Drop. Lock his ass up. He looking over here. We got you, my boy. God damn, man. Murder motherfucker 8. This in murder 8, y'all. This in the rally, man. They say I'm the eyewitness. Ah, shit. I'm scared of motherfucker. Shit. They ain't taking me in. Some money, I ain't gonna let they pay me though. Y'all get the jet pulled up. We out there just chilling. Man, I heard one shot. Cause first he shot him like he did it. He chased the man to the middle of the street, caught him. Shot the man 5 more times, man. And the man threw his hand up. He was like, that man said, please put the gun down in my head. Yeah, look, there go his sister right there, his little sister. His little sister seen everything, man. Damn. Look.
What did you do?
Damn, this shit fucked up.
Oh, Lord. This sad.
Beyonce.
I don't know what they were fighting about. I just heard them folk arguing. He's still lying. That man up to 30, the stick to 40, he up to all this shit, man.
Well, first of all, Lord have mercy. You done took your sibling's father away. You clearly didn't respect him, but maybe she didn't feel the way you feel, and you were so selfish.
Look how she
that
was
you-
acting.
And how in the world can you get to a point where you say, "Well, I'm just gonna take my own daddy life," bro?
I mean,
Mm-mm.
there are things that people could do to make you want to do that. What if his father was harming one of his siblings? What if he was harming his mom? What if he was, you know what I'm saying? So,
Out there like that. That I don't think that was the case.
I'm just saying like that. Those could be some rationales. Like I don't want to know what was going on unless he like just sold his his PlayStation 5 or something like that. Like something.
He
I want
paid
to know
for.
why.
It's another case of these children having too much authority.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
I mean, I'm just saying. I don't care what the situation is. That was too much authority taken into his hand to him to decide that he was going to take a life, let alone his father's life. Now he looking like a deer stuck in some headlights because he don't even realize you done messed up. And most of it come from these children don't know how to handle their emotions. That's why they run and get a gun so quickly.
That's why
you get look, these children will not get whooped, not by their parents, not by a fellow classmate or none of that. They don't know how to fight.
Well, that's because they made it illegal to discipline your children with corporal punishment. So
Of course they did. But at the end of the day, a real parent gonna say, look at him. But you know what? It's so sad because a parent have to make a decision, say, well, just get out my house.
that's true too.
Because see, at this point, you know, when you start trying to buck up at your parent, you got to start looking at these children like serial killers.
I mean, I don't have to. I ain't never had a problem. So I must be
At this point, when children start mouthing off and doing too much, you got to really start considering. Are they gonna try me for real? Because it's happening more often than usual.
because I mean, you gotta think about it. A lot of times, the older children, if they are in a single parent household, more often than not, the older children have to look after the younger children because the mom out the house. So they feel like they have some kind of authority because they have authority of the household because they are like, in effect, the parent. So that's why they think they're rolling with it. Because in effect, they are grown with them. They're making those decisions. They're making dinner. They're doing homework. They're playing with these kids. They're like helping with their boo-boos. They're helping them like when they're sad. They're giving them baths, putting them to bed, getting them up in the morning, getting them to school, getting them from school. Like a lot of these kids this age have a lot of responsibility upon them. So you never know what's really going on in the household.
Let's be real. It was a lot of children back in the day that had to do the same thing, and they weren't acting like that.
However, back in the day, you still had a like this much of a village. You had like this much. You still had your neighbors. Like right, I've always been blessed. You always have your neighbors that can look out for you. Like they know when your kids come home. They're gonna make sure that because they know that you're not home, they're watching your door because they know your kids are inside. If something happens to them, like they're gonna call your phone because if you don't, sometimes that's rare as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to discern that. Like if you don't have that, people don't have that anymore because it's so much disconnection. Like I don't even know where that disconnect came from because it used to be like such a nice community. I don't even know where that disconnect came from. But there's a complete disconnect within the community. So therefore it's like what can be done?
You're so correct. We want to give a shout out to Candy Smith for sending us stars. Thank you for a million outstanding stars.
Thank you.
Stars. Thank you so much, Candy. We appreciate that.
Yes, we do very much. Thank you, guys.
I just think it's just so horrible, that it's done got to the point where the parents are afraid of their children.
That's them. Yes.
I
But
mean, but let's be real, they have
them,
in the field.
though.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's right and don't, because I don't see how I could be afraid of a child that I have
Listen,
brought into the world. But at the end of the day, it's for real. It's for real.
that's all in the way that you raise your children, because I wish my kid would say something smart to me, and half of which I could take offense to. My oldest is 24, and I still, when she need to, don't play with me. I'm still your mother. However, don't play with me.
Yeah.
But you have to earn that. That's another thing. You have to earn that. See, I earned that. I earned that. I bear my bones. You can't just push a kid out and be like, oh, I'm your mother, XYZ. No, you can't do that. You can't. You have to actually be a parent to earn that. You have to be you have to be there when they need you, when they don't need you. You have to be there to earn that. That's something you earn. It ain't something that's just given to you. You gotta earn that. So don't get that twisted. That's another people's problem. They think because they're a parent, they're garnered that respect, and you're not. As a mom, as a mother, as a mommy, I'm here to tell you, just because you got a kid don't mean nothing.
Well, it goes back to now. We have another young man that made a mistake. It's in the system.
Yes.
And this all really could have been avoided. Like, it did not have to happen that way. I don't care what nobody say. It didn't have to happen that way. It could have happened another way. They could have sat down and talked about it. I don't understand why they was in a full-fledged fight.
Exactly.
But I just know that it was ridiculous. And I must say, some parents don't know how to parent, and some children, their emotions are too high. They don't want to listen. They've gotten out there a little too far. And I just feel like it all starts at home. Like when they are impressionable, they are always impressionable. I don't care. As soon as they come out the womb, you need to start coming up with a game plan. I don't care how cute and little they is. Before they even come out of the womb, start talking to them.
That baby talk is dead.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's so stupid. Don't do that. If you want to speak baby talk, speak another language to your child. Learn a language together instead of baby talk. For real.
It's just time out for that. It's time to be 100% real. It's time to be transparent with your children. See, like, when I was growing up, we didn't get a chance to be all in the Kool-Aid, all in the mix when the adults was hanging out, having a good time. Baby, we
over there.
Back. We'll see y'all when we get through. However, it's not like that. And I'm not trying to take things back to then. But what I'm saying is you got to get with the times. If you're going to allow your child, you need to let your child know, look, I'm an adult. You're still a child. Make sure you act accordingly. And that's that.
Pretty much.
I see how, my sister be with my nephew. And, he get to be, a boy. But when I tell you, she don't play the radio with him, and she do not let him hang with children who has done certain things, gotten in trouble in certain type of ways. They're not invited as a friend.
And they shouldn't be.
The house. No.
He is a young black boy in America. They shouldn't be.
And it is what it is. And I stand with her 100% because, see, you don't think that behavior is rubbing off on your child, but yes, it is.
Sure do.
Even if they know better, they might try something because they see him doing it and see him
Hmm.
getting away with it.
But see, that all goes back to your parenting. When you were a strong and effective parent, your child's surroundings takes no bearing upon their upbringing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you have the capacity to be an effective parent to your child, their surroundings have nothing to do with the morals and values and standards that you've instilled upon in your child. You know what I'm saying? Like they cannot be influenced because who they are is
It's
just too solid. They know what's right, they know what's wrong, they know what they should and they should not do because that's what you've instilled in them since day one. So if you were a solid parent, that shouldn't really matter.
And you got to communicate with your children. Communicate with them. Talk to them, honey. Like you can't just say you're in trouble, hollering and screaming. Listen, sometimes you can get to a child just by talking to them and making them realize I'm disappointed in you.
Hmm.
I've done it before. I've talked to a child, told them how disappointed because I expected more of them. Baby, I know they just felt like they wanted to just go and melt and die. Because I made them realize I expect more from you. I look at you as being a certain type of way, and you really just didn't live up to what I thought you were, which you can make a mistake, but let's make sure we correct this right now because at this point,
Hmm.
got an infraction now. Now I
Hmm.
got to look at you a little different because I can't trust that you're going to lead. Now
Hmm.
show me that you can lead, and I'm going to let you get back in leadership positions.
Exactly. But that also goes back to how that person was raised and their powers of discernment. Because once again, when we were growing up, we were taught how to think, not what to think. So that's why we in turn should tell our children, like I do mine, how to think and not what to think.
I agree. I agree. So that really just concludes our raw emotions. We only wanted to speak about this situation because it, when I
It
see,
rubbed us, wrong.
hmm,
It rubbed us the wrong way.
yeah, it was just unbelievable. Like, I just could never, for one, at 6 years old, pull a gun and
Yes.
then kill my own father. Like, just think about that for a second, y'all. Think about that. And, nobody is exempt from this type of behavior if you're not doing what you're supposed to do in your household. So let that be a lesson. And let's start talking to these children and not just jabbing all this punishment and stuff down their throat. Yes, they deserve to be punished, but they need to know why they're being punished.
Mhm.
They need to
Exactly.
know, and you need to have them to talk back to you because a lot of children, they feel like they can't even talk to their parents. So they
Hmm.
don't.
Hmm.
So that's not what we want in 23, y'all. It's time for us to take our children back, y'all. We got to take our we got to wrap our arms around our children, let them know, look, we care about y'all. We don't want to see y'all go in any direction other than up.
We have to break the generational curses.
Yes, and it's okay. You're going to make mistakes, but let's not make a mistake that's going to be detrimental to your future. Because if you end up in jail, I can't get you out. Baby, ain't nobody got $100,000 laying around to get you out of jail. Ain't nobody finna be pawning their car and their house title and stuff like that. We not doing that no more. That's what
No.
we not doing. The only
Mhm.
thing we are doing is we're allowing you to go to college, and
Mhm.
we're gonna have your back with that. We're gonna make sure you eat. Let me just say this one thing about HSWC. When I tell you they make sure they have the college kids' backs, they put together these big baskets with all type of tissue and Kleenexes, anything that a college kid would need. I'm talking about huge, massive. I know it can last for like a month.
Oh, that's nice.
And I just was like, yes, yes. Quit trying to give somebody $20, baby. Let's all come together. You buy some tissue. You buy some sweet tarts. You buy some water. You buy some Pop Tarts, honey. Let's everybody just get some things that the children can actually use and give it to them. Because when they get to college, baby, they ain't got no money to pay for all that stuff out there in them streets. And then if you know, like I know, they can get a part-time job, but it's hard to work and go to college, especially if you're going full-time.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
So, Sunshine, do you have any words of encouragement for the people into 2023?
In 2023, I want to make sure that everyone only surrounds themselves with people that pour into them as they are poured into. Everything is reciprocal this year. If it serves you no purpose, let's move on with it. This is the year that everyone should be kind of focusing on the parts of them that they're slipping on. Love yourself a little bit more this year, because how can you truly love other people proper if you ain't loving yourself right?
Exactly. And my words of encouragement are, let's make sure that we set a proper example for these children. They are watching us. They should not be taking pointers from their peers. Their peers have not lived this life. We, 30, 40, 50, even 20, a child coming up, I'm going to say the age 5 up until 25, set examples for them so they can say, I want to be like that person. I want to be able to do what they doing.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out to the children. Make sure they know that if they don't feel comfortable talking to someone in their household, they can always come and talk to you, or they can extend their hand to the counselor.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, we definitely are glad to see you guys for the new year. So, we will be back sooner than you know with another live hot topics, making sure that you get your brain fed by educated women that's not just feeding you a whole bunch of gossip, honey. We're trying to feed your brain and your soul some substance, something that you can use in this world. Okay? So make sure you tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you like this, thumbs up our video and subscribe to the channel. We are definitely on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Okay?
Sounds about right.
All right. Well, y'all have a blessed night, and we will talk to y'all soon. Millionaire pending.
Okay. And do remain healthy.